It's been a long week, perhaps thanks to Hurricane Tammy. So thank God it's Friday. Good morning, everyone. It is the 27th day of October. It is THG News Today with Mervyn Hanley. Of course, THG News Today is powered by Carl & Sons on St. Martin. I must remind you, please, remember to subscribe to the YouTube channel. That's right here at THG Network. While you're listening to the news or you're watching the news, just click, touch, tap that subscribe button or option right there. And just to remind you what separates us from the others, we do not present to you the straight news or traditional news. If we have an opinion or a commentary, we'll share it in the middle of our news. It may not be every day, but when it is warranted. So I also invite you to share your thoughts. As I read the news, just share your thoughts and your comments, right? We only ask that you adhere to our online guidelines and to be respectful to others, but more importantly, be respectful to yourselves. I do not expect you to always agree with my commentary or opinion. That's the beauty about life, but you must always feel free to share your thoughts and comments on the stories that I have presented or any presenter that's on THG Network that they would present to you. So just remember that, but we just ask that you be respectful. So let's get to Carl & Sons on St. Martin, and we'll be right back with the news. Carl & Sons have been serving the people of St. Martin for over 40 years. And the food and service get better and better. From early morning, customers flock to the bakery for their favorite sandwiches, cakes, pastries, you name it. First thing at mornings and last thing at afternoons, folks rush to Carl & Sons for simply the best. There are two locations, Colbay and on the Pondville. In Colbay, the opening hours are Monday to Friday from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. On Saturdays, 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. And on Sundays, 6:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. and 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Opening hours on the Pondville, Monday to Friday, 6:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. Saturday and Sunday, 6:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. We also cater for weddings, parties, special events, whatever the occasion. It's Carl & Sons. Our staff, we are always happy to serve you. Call us today, the Colbay location, 721-544-2462. That's 721-544-2462. Or in Phillipsburg, 721-543-1059. That's 721-543-1059. It's Carl & Sons Bakery. We are here to serve you. BVI News has reported that a bullet was recently taken from a student at the Elmore Stoutt High School and handed over to the police. The incident happened earlier this month when a teacher was assisting the lower school student with a specific task. The student was allegedly removing items from his backpack when the bullet reportedly fell to the floor and caught the eye of the teacher. The matter was reported to the heads of the institution, and the police were also contacted. The cops confiscated the bullet, but it is unclear whether the young man will face any disciplinary action for the illegal item. As per the BVI News, in recent weeks, the security at the high school has come under heavy scrutiny in light of a serious incident involving students who had a disagreement over a scooter. Unauthorized persons later entered the school compound to defend one of the students in the matter. This caused a frenzy in the school and wider community, as some feared the illegal entrants were armed with guns. The school has since implemented a ban on scooters and has warned that students will no longer be allowed to arrive on campus using that mode of transportation. Residents and the community have also been warned not to spread misinformation, as this could cause unnecessary disruption both on and off campus. In the meantime, it is unclear what extra security measures the school has implemented since the student was discovered with the bullet. It is also unclear whether the parents of the wider school community and the education ministry were told about the incident and apprised of the actions that were taken. I tell you, bullet, student at one of our island school there in Tortola. Let's move on to another story. A former British police officer was sentenced Wednesday to life in prison with a minimum term of 12 years after he pleaded guilty to over 100 child sex offenses, including threatening and blackmailing more than 200 young girls into sending him sexual photos of themselves on Snapchat. Prosecutors say Lewis Edwards, 24, targeted 210 girls between the ages of 10 and 16 by posing as a teenage boy on the phone app. He groomed them into sharing indecent images of themselves, then threatened many of his victims when they refused, blackmailing them into complying out of fear that he would expose them. Edwards, who joined the South Wales Police in 2021, was a serving police officer when he committed the majority of the offences. He was arrested in February and has since pleaded guilty to some 160 counts of child sex offences and blackmail. In one case, prosecutors said Edwards threatened to bomb the house of the victim and shoot her parents if she stopped sending him images. Judge Tracy Lloyd Clark said Edwards was a prolific offender who posed a high risk to children. She described his behaviour as cruel and sadistic. The defendant pretended to be a boy of a similar age. He groomed his victims psychologically, manipulating them until he had gained control, she said. It is clear that he not only gained sexual gratification, but he also enjoyed the power he had over the young girls. There is no doubt he has caused significant harm to the reputation of South Wales Police and policing in general, she added. Edwards was fired during a police misconduct hearing earlier this year. Let me just scroll here. I don't know. I'm not an attorney, but it says a former British police officer was sentenced Wednesday to life in prison with a minimum term of 12 years. So, minimum term of 12 years. I know what minimum means. So you're telling me for all of this that he did, pleaded guilty to some 160 counts of child sex offenses and blackmail, and minimum 12 years? This is crazy and just sickening. He doesn't only need 12 years. He doesn't need 100 years. He needs to be executed. He needs to be placed in an execution chair. That's what needs to happen to this filth. Finally, in our news this morning, out of Nevis, this story. Senator Janelle Nisbet, Junior Minister of Health, confirmed that the Nevis Island Administration is finalizing a contract with Medical Design Consultancy to conduct a quantity survey for the Alexandra Hospital expansion project. This is according to WinFM News. The contract signing is expected to be completed by the end of the week, October 28th, and the survey will commence thereafter. According to Nisbet, the United States-based company will conduct the survey in two parts. The results of the first phase are expected within 6 weeks, while the results of the second phase will take an additional 2 weeks, a combined total of 8 weeks for the submission of the final product. The Alexandra Hospital expansion project ran into difficulties, causing the construction there to be halted. No construction had taken place in approximately 10 months, and it was also disclosed by the Premier of Nevis, the Honourable Mark Brantley, that the administration was waiting for the quantity survey results from a quantity surveyor. Initially, a quantity surveyor from St. Kitts was contracted and paid but not delivered, said Mark Brantley. The situation prompted the Nevis Island administration to seek another quantity survey company. At the Premier's press conference on Tuesday, October 24th, Brantley responded to a three-part question posed by WinFM. What is the name of the quantity surveyor company contracted in St. Kitts to do the survey of the Alexandra Hospital? How much money was paid for the service? Is there any action been taken against the company for not providing the service? Brantley responded, the quantity surveyor in St. Kitts, I do not have the name at hand. We did pay that individual some amount of money. I am really not sure what the amount was. I don't want to give inaccurate information. And as I said, that the individual did not produce the work. Legal action is being contemplated. I think instructions have been given to initiate legal actions. And for those who are wondering, this is a quantity surveyor who we had engaged in a hospital project. And we're waiting on to provide some quantities on the interior space and who has not delivered. So that has set us back several months on that project. And that matter has been addressed by our legal department. Citizens and residents continue to inquire about the status of the hospital's expansion. Some are waiting for the construction to restart, and others demanding that it be completed because enough time has passed. Preparation for the new hospital wing started in 2014. This reminds me of St. Lucia. The official groundbreaking ceremony was held in May 2017 with a 19 million budget estimated. The construction, however, began in May 2018 with a completion date of 24 months. Now, May 2018, 24 months, that's 2 years. So that project should have been completed then, 2021, from the groundbreaking that they had in 2014. So we're going on to 8 years for this. But Minister Janelle continued, "We intend to restart the project in January, as the delay has been extensively, certainly. It is anticipated that in due course, it would most likely be an overrun from the initial budget, but currently we are not at that point. We're still within the initial projected budget. But with the adjustments that are to be made, it is anticipated that in the longer term, it will eventually go over the projected budget." Okay. Premier Mark Brantley is a very brilliant, we can agree that he's a pretty brilliant individual. He's well researched, always thorough with his research, especially when he was in opposition. And it has been 2 press conferences in the past that Premier Brantley has been promising the people of Nevis to come back with the information regarding the quantity surveyor. The same questions that Winifem asked. What is the name of the quality surveyor company contracted in St. Kitts to do the survey of the hospital? How much money was paid? And is there action been taken? 2 press conferences ago, which would have been 2-3 months ago, he would have said he doesn't know. He will have the answers. He came back to the press conference in September and he said that he will get that information to the journalists and to the people of Nevis. At the recent press conference on Tuesday, he's saying the same thing, that he doesn't know. He can't remember the name. He can't remember how much monies were paid as the Minister of Finance. And he thinks that, legal action will be taken. I have nothing else to say on that matter. I report, you decide. Thanks for joining me this morning at THG News Today. I am Mervyn Henley. I want you to have yourselves a wonderful weekend. Do join me back here on Sunday evening for a special commentary regarding the European Commission report on the Caribbean's Citizen by Investment program. But as far as THG News Today, I'll be back with you on Monday morning at 6 o'clock. Have a blessed and safe weekend, everybody, and take care of yourselves.